So in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to install ManxPayroll onto a clean machine, and to do that the first thing you'll need to do is to install SQL Server, and if you don't already have SQL Server then SQL Server Express can be downloaded from Microsoft or from a link I have on Dropbox. So I'm going to follow the link on Dropbox and download SQL Server onto this trial machine. So here comes Dropbox, I hope, and we'll be able to download the version of SQL Server which I already have up there. I'm going to press the download button here, and SQL Server is now going to download. This is going to take 8 or 9 minutes, so I'm going to pause the video. So there we are, we've downloaded the installation file, so I'm now going to run that. So yes, SQL Server is now going to do all the necessary things for me. This process on nearly any computer of a modern type will usually be over in about 10 minutes. So at this screen I'm going to say create new SQL Server. It'll run through a few tests to make sure that the computer is compatible, in which case, I'm sure it will be. So just press next. Let the scan check for updates. Press next again. So it's now making sure that my computer has got the space and so on necessary. We are now already at the point where everything is going to be fine. No need to worry about that firewall warning for most computer systems. If you have an office with multiple users, then you will need to configure your firewall. We can just say next. Leave this as it is. Okay, so press next. Press next again. So, and again. This is the important point. This is the critical screen where we have an option to go for mixed mode, and we want to do that. So I need to check that box there, and I need to come up with a password for the user, which is the default user called SA. So I'm going to put a password in here. If you forget this, then the ManxPayroll will not work. It will not connect to the database. I'm going to accept this R open, which isn't necessary, but we can accept it anyway. And we'll be doing the same in a second for Python. It's my fault. I should have clicked next. Accept. Click next. And now, having done all that, the full installation in the background will carry on. So I will now just go to my emails and I'll download the ManxPayroll software. Again, you'll get a link from me to Dropbox for ManxPayroll, and I think that'll be the link. So I'll download this ready for when SQL Server is installed. It's a very small file, only takes a few seconds. And there it is. Interestingly, 10 years or so ago, this process would typically take over half an hour. But now, with modern computers, it's so much quicker. Okay, so the process of installation is now coming to its conclusion, and it may be that you'll be asked to reboot your computer. That doesn't usually happen these days, but every computer's different, so you have to go along with the flow. That is the end of installing SQL Server onto this computer. You'll get a little screen like this to tell you that all the various processes have completed successfully. Close that, and I can close the installation center, as they call it. One small thing I would draw your attention to, it is useful, and I would recommend that you follow the instructions to download the management tools. It's not compulsory, but it would be useful. Okay, so now we install the ManxPayroll. Go to my download folder, and there's the ManxPayroll zip. Run the setup. Now at this point, the Windows protection kicks in. Just click More Info and then Run Anyway. In this particular instance, I need to install some extra components, so we'll go through that process. Go through the security in the usual way. And now we're going to click Install to install ManxPayroll. And that's it. ManxPayroll is now installed and ready to run. I'll close them. So there's a desktop icon. So I should double click that. And ManxPayroll in the first instance will try to find the database, which of course it cannot do because we haven't yet established that. So we are going to follow the instructions to connect to the database server. So this is where we were earlier. So just type in localhost, all one word, and /SQL Express, SQL Express. The user is SA, and then the password is the password that you previously set when you were installing SQL Server. I'm going to put my password in. If I put the details in correctly, it'll tell me I've done that right, and it will move on to the next stage. Okay, so the database has now been created. So that's a blank database for ManxPayroll, and I'll get a login form here. So I'm going to type in the default, which is admin, and password. And we are now into ManxPayroll and ready to. So the next stage is to watch my new video I'll be putting up to show you how to run ManxPayroll in the normal manner. So thank you for watching this video. We are now up and running. Goodbye.